Interested in almost 8% yield in a dividend company that's been growing for decades? Well, I got one for you, but is it worth it? We'll look at the pluses and minuses on Exxon Mobile stock. All right, guys, in my background, I got some of my resistance bands. Resistance band made out of plastic or rubber mold, which is helpful for oil. Now, let's go over ExxonMobil. The stock is interesting when you look at the dividend history. All the way back to the year 2000 to now, you can see a very steady curve, and it is 22 cents a quarter a share in 2000. Now it's currently paying 87 cents a quarter. So 4 times more in their dividends now than it was 20 years ago. Currently, the dividend is paying 8.5 pretty much percent yield with a 38-year dividend growth. That's a very high current yield and a very good growth history. The growth rate is about 5% every 5 years. All those numbers are looking good if ExxonMobil could continue keeping numbers like this. If the 5-year growth rate could stay close to that and they keep paying their dividends and their earnings look good, the stock price should probably go up and then the yield will go down. But if you're buying at current prices, it could be good for a dividend company. Now, ExxonMobil in the last year has been hit relatively hard. You look at the coronavirus, we were at about 60 and now we're in the 40s. And because of that lower share price, the dividend yield went up. Typically, if a company is paying the same dividends and the share price goes down, the yield will automatically go up because you're looking at how much they're paying divided by the share price. So just based on that, it's looking like a pretty good company. Next, if you go to finbox.com, and current price is 41, the fair value estimate is 51.68 with a pretty good upside, 26%. Pays significant dividends, prominent player in oil and gas, but it is at a high EBIT, that's earnings valuation multiple. So the big issue is oil and the amount of oil being used. Again, here's more on dividend history. You can see very steady dividend growth. 0.87 for the last 2 years or so, 0.82, 0.77, and so on. But is the dividend safe? One of the recommendations I give is to make sure that your payout ratio is under 75%. Because if you're paying more than 75%, your company won't be able to invest in R&D and grow, and it could be in danger of cutting or losing the dividend. Right now, based on trailing 12-month earnings, the dividend is 154.6%, which is almost double, 1.5 times the amount they're paying in dividends than what they are earning. Companies cannot do that over a long period of time, just simply not sustainable. So I think there is a pretty decent chance that they might at least keep the dividend where it is, possibly slight increase just to keep this history of a long period of growing their dividends. But I think personally they're going to probably have to cut the dividend because the earnings are just not looking the way they need to, unless oil is being used much more. So since 2000, the dividend fluctuated usually between 2 and 5%. ExxonMobil, though, is down 45% in the last 5 years, which definitely boosted its dividend. Some fundamentals. Forward earnings multiple 32.6, which is high end on a low growth industry, especially if no one's using oil and gas, or very few growth there. Their debt is also a concern, $47 billion in debt. They issued more debt in March. Pretty low interest rates, luckily. Revenue down 10% in the last quarter, based on, again, not many people moving, going out to work. They'll need gas for their cars, and a lot of machinery, a lot of manufacturing is not using as much oil. And based on this, I think they're going to cut their dividends. However, it might be a good starting location if you think that oil and gas will continue into the future once the pandemic subsides and more people go out to work and manufacturing goes up. So it is a risky play, but you will be getting 8.5% dividend currently, and could be a good starting position in the very long term. So if there's any thoughts on this, any questions you might have, leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm the investing teacher and here to help you with your investments. Have a good day.